So how do people react when they find out that you're the civilian in the relationship?
Huh. There definitely is a default assumption within the military culture that men are service members, and if they're married at all, they're married to a civilian woman. So as far as stereotyping goes, or are people acting strangely or differently, I don't feel like I have it the worst. But it definitely becomes a topic of conversation. Like, oh, so you're not in, your wife is? People just always act surprised. I feel like I was prepared about as well as I could be before going into it. But there were definitely things that I'm not going to be able to be prepared for. I mean, about 10 months before we PCS'd, my wife's old command asked us, would you like to volunteer to go to Italy? And we talked about it and said, no, not right now. And then a month later, they said, congratulations, you're going to Italy. Which, I mean, that's military for you. That's nothing unique to us. But it was definitely an adjustment for me, because I got a job directly out of college. And even though I graduated the December of 2007, right before the worst crash since the Great Depression, I was lucky enough to be able to keep my job through all of that. But I had to quit that to come out here. I was working in an IT job, which was actually a pretty great setup for a military spouse, because I was working for a large corporation that has a presence just about everywhere. So as long as we did not get sent to one of the 2 military bands that work outside of the United States, Italy or Japan, I was going to be able to keep that job. Here, not only are we not allowed to work off base, a certain number of the on-base jobs are guaranteed to local nationals. Jobs can be really difficult to come by. And as far as I understand it, it is vaguely against the rules to do things like be a pet sitter or fix people's computers, or for people who sell jamberries or health products or whatever. I was definitely raised up in the general culture in America that you are what you do, and the work is important. And not having a steady job was really difficult for me. And especially because on top of that, cultural value, there is still very strongly an associated stereotype of men being the breadwinner, what have you, whatever cliche you want to use. I still am just freelancing. I don't have a steady job. And not having that steady, predictable pattern of job life was really difficult for me. And it still doesn't feel completely natural. It still feels foreign. It's not easy to be a male military spouse. And for all of the reasons that it is difficult. I have a hard time seeing it changing, unless military culture changes, and especially recruiting culture changes. Because women have been allowed to be in the military since the World War II era, or shortly thereafter. I don't have to take the test, so I don't know the exact dates. But it's been more than 50, 60, 70 years. And we're still at 8%. I really wish that I could top it off with some really optimistic closing thing, but I really don't think it's going to change. And honestly, I think it's really tough to give a good sales pitch to women who want to get in the military when I hear the stories about how they are harassed and in really horrible examples abused. And there are a million stories out there about women who come out with stories against their fellow service members, and they are punished by rules that allow commanding officers to adjudicate sexual assault cases. It's just... they can be in a real bad place. And especially when a woman can be in a command where she is one woman in a command of 60, it takes a lot of fortitude to be in that situation where you decide that you really do want to do this job. So it's really tough. And I don't honestly see it changing. And then you're in a catch-22, where if it's unwelcoming to women and women don't want to join and challenge things, then it's not going to change.